The power of simple gestures in such a fast-paced world full of daily challenges, where expectations seem ever greater. Have you stopped to reflect on the impact of the simplest gestures? In a scenario full of complexity, how can a simple act of kindness or a sincere smile change someone's trajectory, perhaps forever? Today, we invite you to embark on a spiritual journey, where we will explore how seemingly small actions, but full of empathy and love, have the power to deeply touch lives and create lasting transformations. This is the beginning of a reflection on how simple gestures can actually be immeasurable in their impact. Sometimes, spirituality reveals itself not in great deeds or profound revelations, but in small, everyday actions that seem irrelevant, but which are, in reality, moments of great spiritual connection. Such gestures become powerful instruments of energetic healing, capable of opening doors to a spiritual awakening that goes beyond what one imagines. Often we believe we need to do something grandiose to make a difference. However, as we can observe, it is frequently in the details that true spiritual transformation occurs. Each of our spiritual journeys can be marked by simple moments of compassion, where small acts of kindness serve as expressions of divine guidance. These gestures become tangible manifestations of our spiritual empathy and help us live more fully, more connected to spiritual wisdom. Have you noticed that a stranger's smile can transform your day, or that a simple gesture of help can bring light to a dark moment in someone's life? Such moments are examples of the spiritual connection we all share. They remind us that we are all chosen to live spiritual transformation, not only through great changes, but also in the humblest actions. As we reflect on these gestures, we are invited to awaken our spiritual consciousness to the beauty of what is simple and profound in our lives. This is the power of simple gestures. They have the potential to create eternal impacts, affecting not only the life of who receives them, but also of those who offer them. As we explore this theme, you will be challenged to look at your own spiritual journey and realize how your small daily actions can be used as tools of transformation, both for you and those around you. Throughout this video, we will delve into how these small gestures can serve as testimonies of faith and examples of love that transcends human understanding. We will see how the practice of kindness, empathy, and connection can be a reflection of the spiritual wisdom we all carry within us. Prepare yourself for a journey of discoveries that can transform how you see the world around you. The power of spiritual empathy as we advance in our spiritual journey. One of the most powerful tools we can cultivate is empathy. In an era where human relationships are often marked by rush and superficiality, spiritual empathy emerges as a transformative force that connects people in deep and lasting ways. But how exactly can simple gestures be driven by this empathy? And what is the true impact of putting ourselves in another's place? When we talk about spiritual empathy, we're not just talking about understanding others' difficulties or offering advice. We're talking about a genuine connection that goes beyond words, a connection that is felt in the soul. Spiritual empathy allows us to see others through God's eyes, recognizing the divine dignity and value in each person. This guides us to act in loving and compassionate ways, even when actions seem small or insignificant. For example, a simple gesture of listening to someone who is suffering can be an act of energetic healing. Sometimes, words aren't necessary, but presence and willingness to listen can provide relief and even reveal the spiritual wisdom we have within us. These moments of listening, often so simple and everyday, are opportunities to manifest divine guidance and help transform someone's life. Don't underestimate the power of an attentive ear or a warm hug. They are gestures that have the potential to heal and transform. Spiritual empathy calls us to recognize that we are all on a unique spiritual journey, but share a common experience of seeking purpose, love, and peace. When we demonstrate empathy, we are sharing the divine light that resides in each of us. A simple smile or a word of support can be the spark that lights a flame of hope in the heart of someone who is lost in darkness. This kind of compassion not only strengthens those around us, but also strengthens us spiritually, reminding us of our own humanity and our connection with God. It's interesting to note that often, when we offer simple gestures of kindness, we are the greatest beneficiaries. The act of helping or connecting with another human being brings us closer to our true spiritual essence, making us more aware of our capacity to love and serve. This is a crucial aspect of spiritual transformation. As we become more empathetic, our own spiritual journey deepens, our spiritual connection strengthens, and divine guidance becomes clearer. At this point, I invite you to reflect on the impact of empathy gestures in your life. Have you had any experience where a simple act of kindness made all the difference? How did this impact your view of spirituality and others around you? Perhaps it's time to consider that you too have the power to touch someone's life profoundly, even with the simplest gestures. Sometimes, all we need to do is be present, listen attentively, and show that we genuinely care. Now, I want to know, what simple gestures of kindness have you received or offered, and how has this influenced your spiritual life? Share your experiences in the comments below. Let's reflect together on how these small actions can make big changes in our lives, transforming lives with simple acts of love. It's fascinating how, in many moments, life gives us opportunities to act in simple but deeply transformative ways. Each new day, we have the chance to touch someone's life with a gesture, a word, or even a silent attitude of understanding. At first glance, these acts may seem small, but as we reflect on their impact, we realize how they can expand to touch hearts and minds in powerful and lasting ways. When we talk about spiritual transformation, many of us think about big changes or revelations. But the truth is that true transformation often happens in the simplest moments. An act of kindness you offer today can spread in ways you never imagined, changing someone's life and, at the same time, transforming your own. The small gestures of love we practice are seeds that God plants in our hearts, and it is from these that great changes are born both within us and around us. If we stop to think, our spiritual journey is not made of grand milestones, but of small daily steps that bring us closer to God and to each other. These steps can be as simple as helping someone carry a bag, giving a word of encouragement, or offering a sincere smile. The true beauty of these gestures lies in the intention behind them. When our actions are guided by divine guidance, they become powerful tools of spiritual transformation, capable of bringing healing and light to others and ourselves. Spirituality manifests not only in moments of deep prayer, but also in daily interactions with those around us. Each simple gesture of love is an opportunity to apply the spiritual wisdom we have acquired in our journey. Whether through an act of unexpected kindness or a moment of silent empathy, we can be channels of energetic healing and compassion. These small moments connect us more deeply with our true essence and remind us of the importance of living a life of service and love. I would like to hear your stories. What was the moment when you experienced a profound transformation after offering a simple gesture of kindness? How did this influence your spiritual journey? Leave it in the comments below so we can learn from each other and strengthen our spiritual connection. Remember, every gesture counts, every act of kindness has an impact, and perhaps in your words or actions, someone is seeing God's presence reflected in your life. It's important to recognize that true spiritual transformation doesn't happen in a single moment of great revelation, but in small daily actions done with a pure heart and intention to serve. Each time we offer kindness, empathy, and compassion, we are actually being molded closer to Christ's image. In doing this, we help build a stronger, more united, and more spiritual community, where everyone can experience divine healing and love. Therefore, the next time you have the chance to perform a simple gesture, remember that it can be much more than it seems. It can be a key to transformation, not only in the life of who receives it, but also in yours. Each act of love is a step closer to living the life that God dreamed for you. Simple gestures, a reflection of divine love. When we talk about simple gestures and their importance, we cannot help but mention that, deep down, these small acts of kindness are a manifestation of the divine love that dwells within us. Each action of compassion, each word of encouragement, each smile given to a stranger is a direct expression of the divine guidance that is constantly guiding us. As we deepen in spirituality, we begin to realize that the true strength of our journey doesn't come from great deeds or revelations, but from the ability to reflect God's love in everyday actions. Christian spirituality teaches us that we are all called to be the hands and feet of Christ in the world. This means that through our simple gestures, we can bring God's presence to those around us. Imagine that each small act of kindness you offer is an opportunity to share divine light. By helping them with gestures of love, you are not only touching a person's life, but also being an instrument of spiritual healing and transformation, allowing spiritual wisdom to manifest through you. These simple gestures have the power to open doors to profound spiritual changes. When we extend our hand to someone in need, we are actually helping to build God's kingdom on earth. Each act of kindness, no matter how small, is a step in the spiritual journey we are all walking. They remind us that often, true spiritual greatness is not in our words or in our grandiose intentions, but in the small actions of love we demonstrate in our daily lives. In many moments, life challenges us to be reflections of God's unconditional love. In small gestures, we manage to put into practice what Christ taught about loving our neighbor. Each time we offer help without expecting anything in return, or each time we see someone in difficulty and extend our hand, we are in tune with divine wisdom. These are moments when spiritual transformation happens, not only in the other's life, but also in ours. With each gesture of kindness, our own spiritual journey deepens as we are living the true essence of Christianity, unconditional love. As we reflect on these small gestures, it's also important to note that we are often transformed while helping others. This happens because when we act with the intention to serve and demonstrate love, our own spiritual connection strengthens. We are constantly being molded, not only by great experiences, but by small daily actions that, over time, accumulate and transform us into better versions of ourselves. As we give ourselves to these simple gestures, we are actually allowing ourselves to be closer to God and more aware of His presence in our lives. Now, I would like to invite you to reflect on how you can incorporate these small gestures of love into your life. How can you be more aware of your ability to transform the environment around you with simple actions of kindness? Think of a situation where you could make a difference today with a simple gesture. This is an invitation to live spiritual transformation, not only theoretically, but in a practical and daily way. If you have had experiences where a simple gesture of love or kindness made a significant difference, share with us in the comments. Your testimony can inspire others to do the same. Remember that each gesture counts and can create an eternal impact. The journey of spiritual consciousness through simple acts. Throughout our spiritual journey, we are constantly called to grow in spiritual consciousness and become more aware of the ways we can positively impact those around us. Although many seek spiritual answers in moments of great prayer or in times of crisis, it is in the simplest gestures that we often find the deepest answers. This leads us to reflect on how small acts of kindness become portals for awakening our own spiritual consciousness, helping us see the world in a more connected and compassionate way. Each simple gesture, whether helping a friend, supporting a stranger, or even practicing patience with someone who is having a difficult day, is an opportunity to align ourselves with divine wisdom. When we choose to act with empathy and love, we are allowing divine guidance to flow through us. These moments of connection with others not only transform their lives, but also transform us spiritually. This happens because, when acting according to divine guidance, our spiritual consciousness expands, allowing us to perceive the world with more clarity, love, and understanding. For example, imagine that you have the opportunity to help someone in a moment of difficulty. The simple act of being present, listening, and offering support can not only alleviate the other's pain, but also open your eyes to your own capacity to love and be loved. This type of experience is fundamental for awakening spiritual consciousness, as it teaches us to see divinity in each person we meet. Each gesture, no matter how simple, invites us to live more fully according to our true spiritual nature, transforming our vision of the world and strengthening our connection with God. As we grow in our spiritual journey, we begin to realize that true greatness is not in achieving great deeds, but in living with an awakened consciousness, where our daily gestures of kindness and empathy become reflections of our own spiritual evolution. These moments of kindness, often small and discreet, are actually expressions of our spiritual wisdom, of our ability to live in harmony with divine principles. And, as we align ourselves with these principles, we become more aware of our role as agents of transformation in the world. I invite you to reflect, when was the last time a simple gesture of kindness made you feel more connected to God? How can you become more aware of these small opportunities to be light in others' lives? This is an invitation to live more attentively and intentionally, taking advantage of daily opportunities to grow spiritually and positively impact the world around you. The eternal impact of simple gestures and spiritual transformation. As we advance in this reflection about simple gestures and their profound impact, it's important to recognize that what we do in small moments reverberates eternally. Each act of kindness we perform, no matter how small it may seem, carries with it the potential to create changes not only in the present, but also in the future, both in the life of who receives and in our own spiritual journey. These gestures are expressions of our connection with God and humanity, and have a transformative power that goes far beyond what we can see with physical eyes. The eternal impact of a simple gesture is often invisible to immediate eyes, but is deeply felt in the heart. When we offer a smile to a stranger, extend our hand to someone in need, or even give some time to listen to someone attentively, we are creating a wave of positive energy that spreads and reverberates in the world. The kindness we offer not only touches the one who receives, but expands, touching other lives and creating a network of compassion and love that propagates infinitely. This is the power of simple gestures. They have the ability to generate a spiritual transformation that goes beyond the moment, touching lives in ways we cannot always fully understand. At this point, it's important to reflect on how these small actions are directly linked to our spiritual purpose. We live in an era of so many distractions, where we often feel we must do great things to be noticed or to have an impact. However, the truth is that spiritual greatness is found in the small gestures of love we choose to practice every day. These gestures are like seeds that, when planted, can grow and bear eternal fruits, not only transforming the lives of those around us, but also guiding us in our own spiritual journey. They help us live according to spiritual wisdom and divine principles, reminding us that our true mission is to live with love and compassion. Finally, as we reflect on the eternal impact of simple gestures, we are called to live with renewed purpose. We know that, through our daily actions, we can be channels of divine presence in the world, allowing spiritual guidance to flow through us. And by living with this awareness, we are transformed. The spiritual journey is not about reaching great milestones, but about the continuous transformation that occurs in small gestures of kindness, empathy, and love. Now, I invite you to reflect on how you can apply what you learned here in your own life. How can you use simple gestures to create impact and transformation in your community? Remember that each gesture of kindness, no matter how simple, has the power to touch lives in a profound and eternal way. This is the beauty of spirituality in action. It manifests itself in the most everyday moments, and in doing so, transforms the world. Dear friend, never underestimate the power of a simple gesture. It can be the key to transformation, both in the life of who receives and in your own spiritual journey. May your gestures of kindness echo in the world and touch lives in ways you never imagined. If you found inspiration in this video, share it with friends and family, so that together we can spread the message that simple gestures have the power to transform lives. Subscribe to our channel for more reflections on the spiritual journey and continue to explore the impact of your daily actions.